So this is my 2012 Cooper S R56. Does have the N18 engine. And I designed this intake. Well, I didn't design it. I guess I kind of did. I thought the OEM intake was a little bit inefficient, I guess. Hold on, let me open this. So I decided to make it a little bit shorter, and by a little bit I mean a lot shorter. So this is what I did. The intake, as you probably know, vented in from here, came up through the filter, and then down through this pipe, which I still have sitting here, and into the turbo right here. So what I did was I took out the intake box, the stock piping here before the filter, and this I left here because these sensors, if these sensors aren't connected, you get a check engine light, and I really didn't want to rip them off of this because, I don't know, I didn't want to ruin this good part. So this sits here, it does nothing. Whatever, it doesn't bother me that much. I might figure out a way to put resistors in here, because these are heaters in here. They heat up the air for I don't know what, but I might find out something to do later. So the coolant reservoir used to be here. I relocated it to here. I have my little sketchy bracket right here that I need to make better. And I put it there because of this strut bar that I made was for the OEM intake, and this wouldn't really fit anywhere else. So that's why I put it there. You can put it anywhere here basically. And it'll work as long as it's higher than, it's hard to see, as long as it's higher from right here. This is where the coolant goes back into the motor, or into the water pump here. And I guess it won't really work that efficiently if it has to go against gravity. So yeah, this is 2 3/4 outer diameter, the lip on this side of the mass airflow sensor, and this is a K&N filter that I found off Kijiji. And basically I just used a 2-inch coupling, 2-inch intake coupling to connect to the turbo, tightened it real tight on there, and then I have a plumbing coupling in there that goes to another plumbing coupling. It was really hard to get this to all fit properly, so I cut some corners in some places, like right here. I couldn't find any coupling to go over this 2 3/4, 2 3/4, I guess you can say, lip on the mass airflow sensor. So I actually got an intake coupling and slid it underneath, and then used high heat electrical tape to go over that so it wouldn't leak air. And then the mass airflow sensor just barely reaches. It's kind of got some tension on it, but it reaches, and it's not pulling or ripping or anything. And then I have this hose here is for coolant into the water pump, and this here is overflow. This is kind of overkill for that. I didn't have to make it so long. I could have made it shorter, but I figured I didn't know where I wanted to place this, so that's why it's long. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. So it still gets cold air from here. Pulls in cold air right from where the original intake was pulling in cold air. And now you get some really nice intake sounds. And of course more airflow, because the last intake was going through, the air was going through a hole this big to get into the turbo. Now it's got this big inlet. So yeah, that's what I did for my intake. I think it's pretty cool, unique. I haven't really seen this anywhere else. There's one other video on YouTube about it, and it's pretty crappy, and he said it didn't work. But what he did was he had a shorter distance from the turbo to the sensor. So the turbo was, it had some turbulence, some back turbulence. When you would let off the throttle, it would shoot air this way, and the mass airflow sensor would pick it up. So he took this all apart, he put it back to OEM. But I just extended this a little bit more, and no check engine lights, it idles fine, runs great, and it all works great. This I still have to make better. I don't really like that, but this is just the first version of it. So yeah, I'm gonna start it up, and then I'm going to drive it, and so you can hear the turbo sounds. I do also have a catback straight pipe, so I still have one catalytic converter, but it's just the downpipe. I don't really want to get rid of that. Yeah, so that's why it's pretty loud right now. I'll kind of have to yell over the sound. But you can feel just pulling in air. So I'm just going to drive it around. Okay, so this is inside of my 2012 Cooper S with the aftermarket custom intake. I'm just going to put it in third gear around here and just spool up the turbo so you can hear it well. I'll roll this window down. Let me just get around this corner. I don't know how well you could hear that if there was wind. Some loud sounds. The turbo is actually louder than the exhaust sometimes, which is cool. Put this on the curb and do some drive-bys. Let's see. Hope that's a good spot for it.